When the war ended, Europe was broken, and so were its children. Among the survivors were thousands of Jewish boys and girls, orphans, traumatized, alone. Most had lost everything: parents, siblings, homes, childhoods. In Britain, the Central British Fund, today known as World Jewish Relief, fought to bring them to safety. After tireless lobbying, the government said yes. Between 1945 and 1948, 732 young survivors arrived. Though they became known as the boys, over 200 were girls. They came in waves. The first group were the Windermere boys. The second group were the Southampton boys. The third group were known as the Belgica boys. The fourth group were the Paris boys. And the fifth group were the Schonfeld boys. They were then sent to hostels across England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. They came with nothing, but they found each other. And in place of the families they lost, they built a new one, bound not by blood, but by survival. In 1963, the boys made it official. They formed the 45 Aid Society, a charity, a support network, a mission. Its mission was simple but powerful: to support one another, to remember those that were lost, to give back to the country that gave them a future, and to educate future generations. Every May, the 45 Aid family reunites. From around the world, the boys and their descendants come together, not just to remember, but to celebrate. These gatherings are filled with music, stories and life. Over the years, they've welcomed dignitaries, politicians and public figures. But the heart of it is always the same: family. Many of the boys have been honoured for their contribution to British life. None more than Sir Ben Helfgott, Olympian, activist and founder. He was knighted in 2018 for his work in Holocaust education. The boys knew their story couldn't end with them. Today, their children and grandchildren carry that responsibility. We lead a national education programme that brings the boys' stories into school, government agencies, football clubs, communities across the UK. We're proud to work with Professor Nick Weatherall and the team at UCL, Centre for Holocaust Education. With the help of Charlotte Lane, the Holocaust, Their Family, Me and Us is now used in over 400 schools. At Noosa in Nottingham, Dominic Townsend leads the programme for deaf children with care and commitment. At Highfield School in Wolverhampton, Gemma Tappenden has inspired children to champion diversity and stand up to hate. At Trinity Catholic School in Leamington Spa, Debbie Hayden has led the creation of a memorial peace garden. At Lake School in Windermere, teacher Ken Pickering is guiding the next generation with passion and purpose.
For the 80th anniversary of the liberation of the boys, we're launching a new 45 Aid Society website, which documents the story of the boys in the greatest detail ever. We're very aware that as time passes, we've been losing the opportunity to hear from the boys in person. And as their children and grandchildren, we felt the responsibility to capture the history of the boys and to preserve it for future generations. And that's why we've documented it in this new website, which brings the history of the boys into the present. It will provide a space for learning, connection and remembrance. We want it to reach people everywhere and anyone who wants to understand what survival truly means.
The boys never forgot where they came from, and neither have we. In 2019, 250 members of the 45-8 family returned to Prague, recreating a famous 1945 photo of children liberated from Theresienstadt. In 2022, we retraced the steps of the Windermere boys, where the journey to a new life began. We honoured the Southampton boys at Winters Hill Hall and remembered the Loughton boys at Holmhurst in Epping. Most recently, our South Goes North weekend in Manchester celebrated those who rebuilt their lives in the north of England. Each journey connects generations and keeps the memory alive.
We are a unique society. I don't think there is another society in the world like ours. How many communities of friendship last such a long time? We're just one big family. We're closer than blood relations, don't forget.
Not only that we help each other, but it helped us to survive. Because I'm sure without it, none of us would survive that long.
Absolutely.
They survived for a reason, it wasn't a coincidence.
Well, Mum tells this great story, I've heard it so many times now. When she was at school, she got asked why she had all these aunts and uncles. She didn't have any aunts and uncles, technically, but she did. They were the boys.
How amazing that they set up the 45-8. And now with so few survivors left, it's down to us. We have to continue their legacy.
And as the second generation have done, from continuing their parents' legacy, it's now down to us for them to pass the torch down onto us at some point and for us to continue.
The boys believed in rebuilding, in hope, not hate. Their message couldn't be more urgent today. In the face of rising anti-Semitism, their lives stand as testimony. They remind us what happens when hatred goes unchecked, and they show us what's possible when compassion takes its place. The 45-8 Society exists to carry that message forward, to remember, to educate, to honour life.